This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Do you ever think about switching insurance companies to see if you could save some cash? Progressive makes it easy. Just drop in some details about yourself and see if you're eligible to save money when you bundle your home and auto policies. The process only takes minutes, and it could mean hundreds more in your pocket. Visit Progressive.com after this episode to see if you could save. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Potential savings will vary. Not available in all states.
AI agents are everywhere, automating tasks and making decisions at machine speed. But agents make mistakes. Just one rogue agent can do big damage before you even notice. Rubrik Agent Cloud is the only platform that helps you monitor agents, set guardrails, and rewind mistakes, so you can unleash agents, not risk. Accelerate your AI transformation at Rubrik.com. That's RUBRIK.com.
At Capella University, learning online doesn't mean learning alone. You'll get support from people who care about your success, like your enrollment specialist who gets to know you and the goals you'd like to achieve. You'll also get a designated academic coach who's with you throughout your entire program. Plus, career coaches are available to help you navigate your professional goals. A different future is closer than you think with Capella University. Learn more at capella.edu.
What is up, Los Angeles, and welcome back to the Rams Week 13 practice report with Erin Coscarelli. I am your host, Ryan Anderson. On the Black Friday edition, Erin, how was Laguna? And
listen, I ate my weight in almost every category. Dessert, I went for seconds, thirds. I just stockpiled as though winter is literally coming from Game of Thrones. I prepared, admirably. You would have been really proud. I could maybe block now for the Rams offensive line. So,
yeah, I definitely put on a few for sure. Had several delicious pies and a Basque cheesecake, which I also had for breakfast. So
yeah. What's your go-to? Is it? I know you love gravy. We've talked about your interest in cranberry sauce, which is very questionable. But do you have a go-to?
The green bean casserole is my favorite thing. That wasn't on the Friendsgiving menu this time around. And I'm not much of a sweets guy, but I loaded up this time. I'm not sure what got into me. I had all three desserts. Usually I'll have one slice of pie, but I just dove right in. They all looked good. Yeah. Pecan pie, pumpkin, and the cheesecake. Yeah, all good stuff.
Yeah. Anyway, so needless to say, you're feeling it today, because I am. I woke up real slow.
Oh yeah. Well, you woke me up. I was still in bed when you gave me our pre-show planning call. So thanks for that.
Yeah. Well, also, I do harass you to give me good tidbits, which you actually did, because I ended up doing a fun secondary piece. And I asked not only who is the biggest trash talker, but I asked who is the biggest trash talker, but then also has maybe a fear of scary movies, would sleep with a nightlight, so I got them to really tell me some good juicy details, like who's most likely to watch Love Island. They gave me the deets on that. Who is the real MVP, the most victorious prankster? So, I did a lot of digging around, but thanks to you and our chit chat this morning, that really helped me, directed me into some good investigative pieces today. So I appreciate that. That's all thanks to you, buddy.
Well, I'm always here for you. No matter what time of day or night, I'm here for you, obviously. Let's get into some news. We had kind of a reversal, of course, on one of these players. Josh Carty off the team, released no recall. So what's the details on that? What Sean have to say?
Yeah, it was the first thing actually after Coach gave us kind of his traditional sort of rundown of the injury report, what to expect. People were wondering what was the decision behind taking Josh Carty off of the roster when that was kind of something they wanted to do. They wanted to keep 2 kickers on a roster, right? They wanted to keep him almost as an insurance plan, just in the off chance Harrison Mavis, who, remember, before the last 2-3 games had never played on an NFL team. I think they wanted to just make sure they had an insurance plan should anything go awry. But as we were talking, making some various roster moves, bringing Tutu back, bringing in a cornerback to kind of help with McCreary being on IR. They just didn't have the room for Josh Carty. And, one of the things that they said was, would they sign him to the practice squad if he clears waivers? He said, absolutely. That's what we want to do. And I remember this specifically that coach said, right around when they were considering, auditioning or trying out Harrison Mavis, he said, Carty has a really bright future. I actually want to do what's right for him more so than what's right for the Rams. And it seems to me that he really feels, Sean McVay feels so much respect for this young player. Just kind of, I guess, how he handled, being a starter and then really kind of losing his job to someone else. And I think he has, like a special place in his heart for what this young man has had to go through. Of course, we've talked about being a kicker is not easy. So I think all of those variables kind of contributed to what we were all kind of surprised to hear that they were going to take Carty, knowing they were wanting to keep him on the roster, that they kind of needed to shift things around just to make some room for various players, like we kind of mentioned. So, they had to bring in a new tight end. Lake being out, they just kind of needed guys. They needed to shift guys around and bring in some, replacements, if you will. And it didn't make sense for them to keep 2 kickers on the roster. But, fingers crossed, hopefully everything works out for Harrison Mavis moving forward.
Yeah, there's tons of kicker drama all around the league. It seems like every week I'm reading a headline about one team releasing a guy or a guy getting injured. And wow, interesting trajectory for Carty for sure. And you kind of alluded to some of the other roster moves. Darion Kendrick back with this team after spending a short time with the Seattle Seahawks. Akella Witherspoon coming back from IR. Tutu Atwell coming back from IR. Roger McCreary goes on IR after playing about 5 snaps, I think was the total. So a short-lived experiment there, I guess. Are there any other news and tidbits in terms of roster movements or injuries that we should talk about?
Just one quick thing about the kicking situation that I also noticed when I had mentioned that Coach McVay said this young man has a very bright future in the NFL, which to me was like the sounding alarm of this he may not end up being a Ram by the end of the season. A nice follow-up by, I want to say it was Gary Klein from the LA Times. He said, so how do you feel about the kicking operation? And one of the things that was really interesting out of Sean McVay was he kind of almost alluded to, I feel good. I don't feel super crazy confident. I feel good. He said, we've been automatic on the extra points. I'm excited. We were able to get 2 field goals off last week, saying he's got a steady approach. And I think that moving forward, we'll see, so I don't think like the jury is out on what's going on with the kicking situation. It seems like it's shored up for now. But when he was further asked more like intel on how he feels on a scale of 1 to 10, how confident, he didn't give us that normal reaction. He kind of was leaving room for, we shall see, so, sure. But yeah.
I mean, years and years, special teams has doomed this team at times. It has been problems, and I keep talking about this. If this costs a playoff game, which come down to the tightest, narrowest margins, I mean that would just be heartbreaking, because every other aspect of this team is just firing on all cylinders. It looks like they're speeding full speed ahead into the playoffs. Doesn't look like anybody can stop them at this point. Watching that Packers game yesterday, that was the one team I have in the back of my head that I think can give this team some troubles. just because of how explosive they are, and Micah Parsons, of course, but that's a different topic for a different day. Yeah. So do you want to share any of the details from your conversation with these cornerbacks? Sounded like a good time.
Oh yeah.
Or are you saving that for a different feature?
No, let's do it.
Right.
I think, look, one of the things that we have seen that I was glad I kind of was able to pick your brain is just somehow this cornerback, the secondary, seems to gel. And when given the opportunity to just sort of kind of peel back layers of the onion, asking questions that are, sort of unrelated to football, and just to get a sense of, it's not even just the way they are with each other, but almost just like, how well are they feeling when they, you have a young unit, that was overlooked in a lot of ways. And now it just seems like complementary football is at the forefront of this secondary, meaning they're really benefiting from the pressure from the defensive line that obviously has been getting highly touted. But you come off a game where, Emmanuel Forbes, who I spoke with, had an interception, and he's been playing lights out. And you're just seeing these guys sort of evolve confidence-wise. So, of course, I had to ask the kind of typical questions you would assume a DB would have. When you think of, for me, like, who's the quintessential DB? In my mind, tell me if I'm wrong or tell me your thoughts, but I think like Richard Sherman. I think prime. You know what I mean? There's a lot of gusto. Yeah. There's a lot of like flash. Bravado. Yeah. When you think of who encapsulates that personality, who is it for you?
I think Deion immediately. I mean, that's kind of my era of football, kind of early 90s into mid 90s. That was like when I fell in love with the game. And so Deion was just constantly the guy. I mean, bigger than life, with the chains and the cars, and putting out hip hop albums, all of the above. And a lot of people will talk about Darian Kendrick in a negative way, but I love how competitive and feisty and chippy.
If you're a custodial supervisor at a local high school, you know that cleanliness is key, and that the best place to get cleaning supplies is from Grainger. Grainger helps you stay fully stocked on the products you trust, from paper towels and disinfectants to floor scrubbers. Plus, you can rely on Grainger for easy reordering, so you never run out of what you need. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
A KFC tale in the pursuit of flavor. The holidays were tricky for the Colonel. He loved people, but he also loved peace and quiet. So he cooked up KFC's $4.99 chicken pot pie. Warm, flaky, with savory sauce and vegetables. It's a tender chicken-filled excuse to get some time to yourself and step away from decking the halls, whatever that means. The Colonel lived so we could chicken. KFC's Chicken Pot Pie. The best $4.99 you'll spend this season.
Prices and participation may vary while supplies last. Taxes, tips, and fees extra.
The best TV comes in many forms, from real-life mysteries to blockbuster dramas, family favorites, and buzzworthy reality shows. Philo makes it easy to stream them all with one simple, affordable subscription. For just $33 a month, Philo offers more than 70 live channels, including favorites like AMC, A&E, MTV, Discovery, and Nickelodeon, plus on-demand TV like the entire AMC Plus library. Whatever the mood, there's always something new to uncover. Philo subscribers also get access to HBO Max Basic with ads and Discovery Plus at no extra cost, along with unlimited DVR that saves shows for up to a year. No long contracts, no complicated setup, just endless entertainment ready to stream anytime. Ready for a better way to bundle all the TV you love? Get started at philo.tv. That's PHILO.tv. Your next obsession is waiting.
AI agents are everywhere, automating tasks and making decisions at machine speed. But agents make mistakes. Just one rogue agent can do big damage before you even notice. Rubrik Agent Cloud is the only platform that helps you monitor agents, set guardrails, and rewind mistakes, so you can unleash agents, not risk. Accelerate your AI transformation at Rubrik.com. That's RUBRIK.com.
He gets. out there. So I love shouting him out. I always get in trouble for doing it because people are like, he's trashy. Let's explosive plays, whatever. He is a vocal leader out there. Anyway, continue.
Yeah. Vocal. You need somebody like that. And that's such a great word. I love that word. Feisty. There's something built in with them that is like feisty, gritty, scrappy. And that's one of the things I remember when I was with the Niners in 2013. That was when Michael Crabtree and Richard Sherman had that scrappy NFC Championship, matchup where you saw Aaron Andrews interview Richard Sherman and he was like not happy about it. Yeah. And so, it's fun to tap in a playful way to that sort of sentiment. So of course, I'm asking the questions that, again, you helped help me kind of think of what way do you find a personality out of a player without really talking hardcore football. So I got, I asked the hard hitting questions like, who's the biggest trash talker? And believe it or not, Emmanuel Forbes said himself, which when you see him off the field, he's so pleasant and so sweet, but he is there's an imposing athletic build about him. And I got to speak with Cam Kinchins. I asked who's most likely to watch Love Island. Cam said himself, right? I'm like, that's amazing. I asked who's most likely to dance to Earth, Wind, and Fire at a wedding. You know that song? Do you remember 21st September? Yeah. So, I'm like, this is so funny. I'm like, I'm not even sure if they know these songs, because they're so young.
Yeah. Well, did you live in San Francisco in 2013?
Yeah.
I did too.
You did?
Yeah, I was there from 08 until 18 when I moved down here.
Oh my God. I really could have used you as a buddy. I had very few friends up there.
Me either. It was the hardest thing. Anyway.
What is that? San Francisco, there's always this rivalry, but I'm thinking everybody's nice, wear flowers in your hair. None of that, you guys. No, I'm kidding.
Completely opposite here in LA. I've got a great group of friends down here, but any other.
But then I want to talk to you about Chris Shula, and that can be our last comment of the day. And look, a lot of talk about Chris Shula. We talked about this the other day. Would Chris Shula leave LA? Obviously, he's kind of coming out as a favorite, as a head coaching candidate, and obviously most notably with the Giants, although they're looking to develop their offensive young QB. Would it make sense for Chris Shula to go to New York and even deal with the media there? Like all those things I wonder, and I was sitting next to Gary Klein of the LA Times today, and I really asked him that. I'm like, do you think he'd take this job and move on and leave his bestie, Sean McVay, who both, they grew up to, they went to school together. I think they played together. Mm-hmm. They both come from, football legacies, if you will. And Gary said, not a lot of these kind of opportunities come up. Where else potentially could we see a head coaching job come up, right? I mean, maybe Tennessee. I've been hearing the Packers, like Matt LaFleur, although I find that hard to believe. So
Miami's been thrown out there.
Miami.
Big legacy there, obviously, with the Shulas.
They just got rid of, that's a good point. They just got rid of the Raiders offensive coordinator and Chip Kelly. So, it kind of all has to make sense. But I think the thing that instead of asking, obviously, Coach McVay, what's he think about it? I asked Coach this question, which I think is an interesting point to think about when you're so young as a head coach, right? I mean, I think McVay's literally the same age, maybe 2 years older than Matthew Stafford, right? I think McVay's like 39. So I said, what do you feel is the biggest compliment that, now Shula is sort of on the forefront of conversation of being maybe a head coach next year and you might lose him? He said, it's the best way to get your heart broken, but you're so happy for your guys. Oh. You're so happy for your guys. That was my charger. Scared the living daylights out of me. But he said he said, it's like a bittersweet sort of situation. Now 7 guys, potentially 8 if Shula takes the Giants job. It's got to say a lot about how you put your men, your players, your coaches in a position to succeed, and you're happy for them that they end up getting an opportunity to do the very thing that McVay does, right? Somebody had to give McVay a shot, and then look at his coaching tree, But the thing that was really interesting too that I asked Gary Klein was, who of those coaches have had success? And while they have, no one quite like when you're here in LA with Sean McVay and the Rams, right? So what and then he said something else that I thought was really interesting. He said, also keep in mind that 2021 season, what happened right after, right? Like the dip.
Mm-hmm.
So let's just say the Rams go deep. What would be a potential look at what could happen to the team the following year? All of that plays into an account of, I guess, Chris Shula's decision to take a job, leave LA, go to a New York market where the media is different. And then really you're in a front-facing position as a head coach. He's never been a head coach before. A lot more pressure, a lot more eyes, and you're with a coach, or you're with a franchise that has seemingly not had consistency in terms of its culture.
Yeah, it's fascinating question. We saw Ben Johnson kind of pass on a few jobs before ultimately taking the one in Chicago. I mean, I could definitely see Shula approach it like that. But like you're saying, these job offers, you can get some interviews. He'll probably be interviewed this offseason, but the job offers are few and far between. And obviously there's been a bit of a trend going toward defensive-minded guys, and that's worked out. Mike McDonald up north there is a great example of that. So yeah, but there's a couple of names in that building I think are generating interest. I mean, I imagine at some point Mike LaFleur is going to get some conversation, some team to be a legitimate offensive coordinator rather than the guy behind the offensive coordinator, Sean McVay. Nick Shieldhouse is a guy I'm kind of keying in on. He'll probably be an offensive coordinator somewhere in the league over the next couple of years. I think he got job offers from Tampa and Jacksonville as well last year, but always something going on there. We got a big game this weekend. Panthers, a couple of injuries. Poona Ford was questionable. Cam Kinchin's questionable. And there's one more questionable fella that I am forgetting.
Well, are you talking about Byron Young? He was a DNP, right? So he was just
he's a full go.
Full go.
Questenberry. Questenberry was the other guy who.
David Questenberry. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Poona Ford limited. Although I'm not quite sure what the injury to Poona is. And then Alaric Jackson. I feel good where we're at. Alaric Jackson doing consistent rhythm and routine. Poona Ford is limited. And he said that's where we're at injury-wise. On whether he expects Byron Young to participate fully against the Panthers, yes. I don't foresee any limitations. So I think it's just, he says, typical bumps and bruises. Of course, crediting Reggie Scott, who does an amazing job at keeping these guys pretty on the up and up when it comes to the injury front. So, yeah, I mean, that was really it when it came to, and then, of course, getting to see Tutu back and Akello back. And I think, that was really, that's really the gist of it here at Rams HQ on this Friday, where the Rams are looking to go, 10? Is it 10-2 at this point?
10-2. Yeah.
So,
Week 13 against the Carolina Panthers. This should be a game where Matthew Stafford pads his stats for the MVP case. This should be a game that the defense is able to control. I'm excited to watch some Tedero McMillan. I haven't seen much of him, but people have been raving about it. But this is the only thing they can't do is look beyond this game to pick up the win. I feel like I don't think there's a lot to talk about. It's not a terribly talented team. They've got a better record than their talent proposes. But They're an NFL football team. They all collect paychecks. They're all professional football players. So always fun to watch the Rams on the East Coast, 10 o'clock time. Guys, go check out Sleeper before the game. Download the app. Put some money in there. They're going to match you up to $100. If you don't want to put any money in, they're doing a free giveaway. You can actually stack these promos. Sleeper Fantasy is giving you free $20 just for signing up. So go check out Sleeper Fantasy. Go have some fun. You're going to pick 2 to 8 players, over unders. It's super easy. You can end up winning a good chunk of money. Boss man Ryan, he just won a good chunk of change on our last one. So that was a lot of fun for him. We'll be back on Sunday after the game, talking all things Rams Panthers. Me and Erin doing that. And guys, we will see you then, a couple of days.
The best TV comes in many forms, from real-life mysteries to blockbuster dramas, family favorites, and buzzworthy reality shows. Philo makes it easy to stream them all with one simple, affordable subscription. For just $33 a month, Philo offers more than 70 live channels, including favorites like AMC, A&E, MTV, Discovery, and Nickelodeon, plus on-demand TV like the entire AMC Plus library. Whatever the mood, there's always something new to uncover. Philo subscribers also get access to HBO Max Basic with ads and Discovery Plus at no extra cost, along with unlimited DVR that saves shows for up to a year. No long contracts, no complicated setup, just endless entertainment ready to stream anytime. Ready for a better way to bundle all the TV you love? Get started at philo.tv. That's PHILO.tv. Your next obsession is waiting.
AI agents are everywhere, automating tasks and making decisions at machine speed. But agents make mistakes. Just one rogue agent can do big damage before you even notice. Rubrik Agent Cloud is the only platform that helps you monitor agents, set guardrails, and rewind mistakes, so you can unleash agents, not risk. Accelerate your AI transformation at Rubrik.com. That's RUBRIK.com.
This is the story of the one. As a custodial supervisor at a high school, he knows that during cold and flu season, germs spread fast. It's why he partners with Grainger to stay fully stocked on the products and supplies he needs, from tissues to disinfectants to floor scrubbers. All so that he can help students, staff, and teachers stay healthy and focused. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
If you like the show, please take a moment to rate, review, and subscribe. It really does help the show to grow. Thank you for listening.